This is a little example. This is for expats, people interested in moving to the Kingdom of the United Kingdom of Slaves, and all the sheeple and this. Yeah. So this, what I'm going to show you, is a fact that I have sent faxes to people who have thrown me in jail for no reason on 2 different occasions, beat me down on 3 different occasions, just the police. Okay? Judge has lied. No, actually, the first judge lied. Edie Connolly lied, and so this is just one example of that is started in April of this year, 2022, right? And all of my problems with County of Montgomery Incorporated and State of Texas Incorporated started back in actually 2016. And there was the first one where they beat me down, threw me in jail, made me strip naked for just so I could go in for what they said was a public intoxication. Refused to give me any of my. I started to do open records request, refused dozens of them for almost, and then I went to the. Then I showed up in their court, JP3, and Edie Connolly kicked me out of her courtroom because she didn't like a shirt that I was wearing, and then turned around and lied and said that I didn't appear in court and put a warrant out for me. And then I started to try to delve into and digging, and I've spent all of my time and energy, and I have years and years of dealing with these scumbags. Okay? And this is just one example. Guess I should start. This is going backwards, right? So if I go to the next, I got 63. There's some other ones that I had that aren't inside of this list, right? So this started April the 4th, and I will go. There's more to this. However, this I will just give you a rundown of what I have right here. So this is Darren J. Ray, who was the attorney that was given to me by the state on the second. So the first arrest and assault and garbage, we're not even talking about that at this time. We're only talking about the second one that happened, and this happened on August the 7th, 2019. And I was walking down the street, right, and there's a guy who had already, I think he was planted there, so he was a plant, and a Hispanic dude with his shirt off, acting all gangsterish on me, and I'm walking down the street, and he's walking all the way across his yard like I thought he was going to attack me. So I manned up, right, and started telling him, hey, you got a problem, dude. First it was polite, like, what's up, dude? And then he just kept staring at me like he was going to come at me. So then I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be like that then, huh? Let's do it. What? And I started getting and then he just kind of blew me off, and he, bumped his chin up, like, right, with his grin, and like, oh, and then I was like, yeah, go fuck yourself, right? And I kept walking. And then a month later, I'm walking down the same street, the same guy shows up, and then he's doing the same kind of little act. And then I was like, I'm getting sick of this shit, because I have to walk up and down this street. And this, to me, is a form of harassment, right? And this guy just showed up out of nowhere, so I've been doing the same routine for a couple of years. And then this guy, with no problem, and then this guy shows up, which I think it's a plant. So then, and I wish I didn't have to go and divulge all of this, but this is important to know. So then the guy goes and his some girl gets in, and I have this posted. I have pictures of it, and I took some photos as this was all happening, and she gets in the middle and she starts saying, "What's your problem?" And I'm like, "No, what's his problem?" And she's like, "You're the," and I'm like, "Hey, shut your fucking mouth. What's his problem?" Right? I don't. And then he's smiling, everybody's smiling and shit, and she's calling 911. And then Jay Pierce and some other unknown asshole shows up. And they won't tell me who the other asshole was, right? But Jay Pierce is a deputy for the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, and he shows up, and they start asking me. They just come right at me instead of going to ask them what's going on. They come at me. What's the problem? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't call you, did I? And then they start with their little routine. Have you been how much have you had to drink today? What makes you think Sir, how much have you had to drink today, sir? How much have you had to drink today, sir? Huh? And it's like, they want you to contract with them by like robots. They keep asking. And I was like, hey, am I under arrest? They're like, no, you're being detained. And then they kept asking me the same. Well, I'm not answering questions. I don't talk to cops. Right? So this is just nothing but a game. And then I had to turn around, right, to go back because I was walking towards the place I was staying. It's only seven houses down, right? So it's right down the street, like 200 feet down the street or so, right? And as soon as I turn around to walk away, Jay Pierce jumps on my back, throws me to the ground, and starts yelling, "Stop resisting," and punches me 3 times in the right temple. Then they lock me in to jail, right? And when they lock me in, they lock down in a chair. They lock my hands and feet down, and they refuse to allow me to pee, right? And so they keep me there for 12 hours, and I literally had to piss. I pissed my pants. They then after I pissed my pants, right? They take me in and they tell me I have to strip naked so I can go in front of a judge. Right? I refused. I said, no, I want to go with my pissy pants on as evidence. And then 3 of the guys, one being Juan Resendez, he's the only one. And here's another thing. Nobody had a badge. Nobody has their name tags on. Right? So the main character was he said his name was McFarland, but I don't know if that's true or not. And then the other guy, I asked him what his name was, and he said his name was Wall. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And when he said it, he's like, yeah, you're talking to a wall, asshole. Okay. And so I refuse, and so they grab me, slam me down, my face straight into the pavement. Right, and pull my right arm back and start dislocating my shoulder up until the point where I'm like, okay, right, and I still have problems with that shoulder, right, and then I put on everything and I walk in front of this judge I've never seen. I can't even remember a Demonico. And I believe it was Demonico, and they fucking tell me, hey, here's not the time to waste your breath. So you're being charged with this, and we're setting a bond at $750 to be released. And I should have actually never fucking been released. I should have just went straight in. And because I went through all of this shit, and now I was just gonna go into general population. Right, and I don't know, but either way, so then Juan Resendez is the man who's standing right beside me, and they force you to sign this, right? And I just scribble on it because I don't consent to any of this, but you have to, Right? And then then they take me back in, and they throw you back in the cell. And hours and hours go by. I don't know how long it was, because, right, so maybe 10 hours or something. And then they came in. I don't know, I can't remember how long it was, but then they came in and they said they took me out of the cell and they put me in front of somebody who wanted to give me a psych evaluation. And I'm like, this is fucking insane, right? I haven't done anything except for tell this asshole to leave me the fuck alone, right? And I refused the psych evaluation. So now they take me back in to the back into the cell, and they strip me down, and they put this what looks like what an umpire, just the protective gear that an umpire puts over, and it goes down to just about below your privates, right? And it's green, right? And it's like just a padded kind of green fucking suit that hangs over in the back and in the front. And they put me back in the cell all by myself and to another cell where I have to sit there on the cold steel bench, and they have the AC cranked, right? So it's cold as fuck in there, right? And they're doing nothing but playing games, and what they're doing is they're using torture tactics to make you consent, right? And so then a few hours goes by. Again, I don't remember the exact time. And the guy that calls himself McFarlane, the main guy that was beating me down in the other cell, with the other one where they twist my arm back and try to dislocate my shoulder, he comes in and he's like, "Are you ready to answer our questions?" Right? And so I'm like, okay. And then they take me back in and they throw the suit back on me. And then they throw me back in the cell again. I'm like, what the fuck, right? But now, this is probably like 24 hours has already gone by, right? That I'm sitting around and shit. I have had like 3 bologna sandwiches, right? And a tray of shit. And I wouldn't even eat the first ones because, they could be fucking poisoning specific people and shit. No. So I didn't even eat the first. And I actually didn't eat any of the thing. I think I did eat 1 bologna sandwich at the very, very end because I was in there for almost 2 days, right, where they were fucking me. So now they bring me up in front of, I guess they're going to what they call, what do they call it? Intake. Okay. And they asked me, I had not yet answered their psych eval questions yet, which was weird. And so then they take me into intake where they're going to book me, right? And this is almost a whole day, like 24 hours has gone by. And now they're ready to book me. And because they have done this in the past, like 3 years ago, one of the first things is they go and they say, how many tattoos? Hold on, go back. And when I went in front of the judge, he had this whole list of, you have the right to remain silent, anything you can, the Miranda rights and all this bullshit. And then they're fucking they tell you have the right. And then they take you back in the cells, and then they kick the shit out of you if you don't fucking answer any of their questions, right? Total contradiction. And then later a lawyer will get in touch and say that he's there to protect your rights. Oh, speaking of a lawyer, now before I was booked, I just remembered I stood, somebody, the first judge, Demonico, asked me if I have an attorney, asked me if I was a U.S. citizen. I said, they said, are you a U.S. citizen? I said, I'm an American, which is not the fucking same. And he just ignored it. Do you have an attorney? I'm like, why the fuck would I have an attorney? I don't even know what's going on here. I was just on the street walking home, and now I'm fucking here. This is what I'm thinking, right? But I'm like, no. And so, do you need one? And I'm like, well, I obviously, I guess you fuck. I mean, how, in every way, these people are fucking people over so fucking hard. Okay? All right, now get back to about a fucking day, 24 hours or so goes by. And it's in this time, you're just sitting in this cell. You're sitting on a steel. If you're lucky, you're on the steel bench, right? And you're fucking tired, right? You're worn out. You don't know what's going on. You can't use any phones. They will not allow you to fucking call somebody. And this is fucking slavery at its fucking best, right? And all of these sheeple out there are like, support the blue, right? Back the blue. Let them fuck people all day like this, all fucking day. And there are fucking there's hundreds of people being processed in this time. There's like people everywhere being fucking pulled in. And it's all, and when I was in there, and I'm talking to some people, there was not a single guy in there that I was talking to that was there because they had like stole something, like I stole a car or I fucking killed some bitch or, I did something, right? It was like, it was all bogus shit. It was all bogus shit. They didn't harm anybody. They didn't hurt anybody. And so now we get to the booking and they ask me, how many tattoos do you have? And I'm like, none. I'm fuck you people, man. I'm sick. And he's like, and the guy looks at me because he already has a picture of me from 2016. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, dude, why don't you tell me how many I have? And he's like, oh, you want to be like that? You want to be a smartass? They throw me back in the cell. So now I pull out my fucking, that little Demonico piece of paper that I could barely fucking read. So I don't know who has the signature and shit like that. But Resendez was the guy that was standing right beside me. Juan Resendez. He took me in and he was standing right beside me. And I don't know who signed what, and you can't see it, and it's the carbon copy. It's not the original copy, which is another form of fucking bullshit. When I get something, I better get the fucking original, and you keep the goddamn carbon copy, right? So, anyways, I pick it up and I look at the guy, the fuck meat piece of shit that calls that fucking cunt that calls himself McFarlane, man. And I hold the paper up and I said, right to remain silent. And he's like, oh, you fucking want to be cute? And he comes walking across like a goddamn drill sergeant, like he's gonna fucking kick my ass. He opens up the door. He's like, what you say? I said, hey, it says right here, a right to remain silent. And he says, oh, you want to be a lawyer? We'll show you what we do with lawyers. And he said, follow me. So I follow him, and then he takes me into a little, I don't know, it was probably about 6 foot by 6 foot square or so. Maybe it was a little bigger, right? With a hole in the middle. This is where people shit. And the place fucking reeks, right? And it's, there's no air, there's no ventilation, right? And there's this big fucking steel door, probably about 4, 5, 6 inches thick, right? And it's isolation, ice confinement, right? And he throws me in there, and he says, let's see if this fucking straightens up your attitude. And I'm like, you fucking cunt, right? And then he shuts the door. And now I'm sitting in there for fucking, where I'm like, and I can smell like fumes, and I'm like, they're fucking poisoning me right now, probably. Right? And people are walking by. And I have not had a fucking bit of water this whole fucking time, right? And also, I can't relieve myself, right? So people are walking by, and I'm like, hey. And I'm trying to ask questions, and these are all these cops and fucking, and there's a guy that comes by every 15 minutes and does a little visual inspection, bleep bleep, bleep bleep, and they tap on something that makes this little bleep sound. And every time they came by, I was like, hey, so I could ask a question, and they just fucking ignore you. And they kept me in there for about like 12 hours, right? And then, they did come with the psych eval with this fat Mexican bitch, or Hispanic bitch. I can't say she's Mexican, but a Hispanic looking bitch. And she was asking me all these questions about when I go into general population, right? And do you want to kill yourself? And then I said, I want to go into confined isolation. And then she says, okay, hey, if you need anything or you have any problem, just make sure you ask me. And at the very end, as I was getting pulled out, I saw her walking past, and I asked her, I can't remember what I asked her, but I asked her about being able to get all of the documentation, how I would get the documentation, and she just fucking ignored me. Right? And she's like, I don't know. I don't know, and just walked the fuck away from me, right? All of them are fucking, like, you couldn't pay me enough to do this shit. And so they literally have sick, twisted fucking morons in there. Okay, so now back into the isolation. There was this one bitch, and she had gone, and she was coming to ask me about psychological, give me a psychological eval. And she was, so now she's talking to me through the door, and she asked me some questions. I'm like, yo, I'm not fucking talking to you, right? I don't want anything to do with you, right? Why am I even still here? And then so then she's like, listen, you either fucking do what I say, or you're gonna stay in there, right? So before this, I had asked one girl that was walking around. I asked her. I was like, hey, and then she did stop, and she came up, and she's like, how long can they keep me in here? And she literally, I don't know, indefinitely, I guess. I think indefinitely. Oh, no, that's fucking. And then I was like, hey, can you find out? And there was multiple times I asked for the supervisor, right? Oh, I also asked for the sheriff, right? I wanted to talk to the sheriff, supervisors, and they were like, yeah, we're, and then fucking, they just blow you. These people are fucking sick, okay? And, United States, you're not I'm not part of your community, your country, your fucking, all your sheeple, you people are fucking out of your fucking mind, okay? So, now, I even asked for toilet paper while I was in solitary confinement. And they fucking, I was like, yo, can I get some toilet paper? Like, where do you and he's like, right in that hole, you take a shit. And I was like, yeah, well, how do I wipe? And then, yeah, I'll get you some toilet paper. They never fucking came back, right? But meanwhile, they're all fucking, this is just a very small little place, right? Like, you could literally walk around in like 2 minutes, walk around the whole fucking place in 2 minutes. You see everybody, right? And yeah, and you can, and I can literally stand there at the window and look at everybody that's working at the desk and all these people that are filing and doing whatever the fuck they do, and they don't do shit. Man. It's fucking disgusting. They're fucking disgusting. Anyways, so now I get out of the solitary with a fat or a Hispanic girl that's asking me all these questions, right? And then I go back into solitary. Yeah. And then the fucking later this guy comes up and he's like, "Are you ready to get booked?" And I'm like, "Fuck it. Yeah, okay." Right? And I did not know that they had like timelines and shit like that until I found this out later, and now I see how these timelines are kind of working. And so now they take me over, and he fucking fingerprints me, takes my fucking picture against my, I'm not consenting to any of this shit, right? But they're doing it, and I haven't even been fucking like they. When I show up to the court, they're asking me what I plead, if I plead guilty or not guilty or no contest. So in other words, that I haven't. They don't even have anything yet. What they had was what they called probable cause, and they're already fingerprinting me, and they're already fucking taking pictures. And when they take those pictures, they put them on their Montgomery County fucking reporters, and you can go in there, and they have pictures of all of the fucking people. So and they got ad spaces all along the side. So there's a bunch of bail bondsmen and attorneys that are all taking out ad space, and there's pictures of everybody that they fucked over, right? And with every bit of your information, like your date of birth and your fucking address and everything, right? I can't believe this shit. I never knew, and yeah, and I come to be. Oh, they wanted to teach me a lesson, and they taught me a lesson, big fucking time. They taught me how fucking stupid I have been, because up until up until all of this, I've been getting fucked over by the states, and for working purposes, and need licenses for this and licenses, and constantly having to jump through hoops, and then not ever really getting anything. So I've been spending an adult life going through all of these fucking wasted time and energy, right? And having some resentment about it, but still having a deep love, right? Saluting flags and pledging allegiance, and loving America and the old Kid Rock kind of sense, right? Like, this is the greatest country on earth and shit. And they taught me my lesson. Now I'm like, no, I saw the inside of what 98% of the sheeple don't see, and that's why they have polluted the within the last 20 years or so. They had a huge inrush of people. They have saturated the market, so to speak, right? So now it's even harder for the Americans that were born, right? And I got family American. I come from from the 1600s. I have forefathers that were here from the 1600s, and there's like 100 million people that just come from new countries and don't have a clue, right? And so now they've created chaos, and nobody knows what the fuck is really going on. And I also discovered that 90% of all the places that I started trying to talk, everybody shut me out. And this is where I'm still going to get, but I have to tell you the story because this is all relevant, right, to the slavery that I'm talking about, right? So if somebody, you fucking morons, when you say slavery, everybody thinks of shackles, right, and whips and all of this fucking black bullshit back in the fucking 1700s and all that kind of shit. Most of those slaves were fucking Moors that were conquered, and these were people that were there was a war between Europe and fucking basically Christianity and fucking Islam, and the Moors were part of the Islam nation of Islam that was conquering in and moving into Europe, right? And they took over for periods of time. They took over places like Sicily, and they fucking raped all the women, and they bred with all the women, and they enslaved fucking the men, right? In Sardinia and fucking Portugal and Spain and all this shit. Okay, so when you thinking of that kind of slavery, this is a slavery that is fucking operating all day, every day, and you don't even. It's the perfect form of slavery because at the end of it all, they've made you consent, right? So they don't even have to take on any real liability. Well, even if they did, they won't, right? So I'm getting way off topic, but there's another aspect in which if you go and some fucking cop goes and says, "Let me see your ID," you say, "Let me see your insurance policy." You know, you guys should be insured, right? You're out in the public. You're licensed. That means that if you're licensed to transfer title and you're looking at a government issued license, right? That's a title. You're licensed to transfer title. That means you're taking on public liability. That means that you need to be insured. What's your insurance policy, you fuck, right? And they don't. Everybody, that was first. You just ask them that question, and you see how fucking off tilted everything will get real quick. Right? They'll just ignore you and keep fucking pushing and pushing. And if you don't comply, what the military calls consent, that's another word for consent. If you don't consent, which I don't consent, then they will make you consent. And they will beat you. So they will beat your ass. The more that you do not, the more that you do not consent, the worse it will be for you. Okay. The quicker and easier that you bend over and you let them shove it right up your fucking ass, and especially if you say, "Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, you're my hero, sir," and you suck their dick while they're fucking you, then it will be everything will be okay. Right? And so back to the fucking story. This is all fucking facts. So now I get the fingerprints, the fucking mug shots, and they stick me back in a different fucking room now where you have the capability to there's some phones there. And now I pick up a phone and it says, "Do you want to fucking so you have to make a collect call." The other place answers and they say there's going to be charges on it. However, they also say that all calls are recorded and monitored. So now I pick up the phone and the other side says, "Yes, I will accept the charges." And then I'm talking, and now they're like, "Hello, can you hear me?" And I'm like, blah, 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 and that fucking phone doesn't work. But there was like $20 worth of fucking charges on that one. And I quickly hung up. And then I went to the other phone and I tried it. So this is another little fucking scam that they got going on, right? And I called to get this, like, yeah, hey, they're going is $750, and I asked, "Can you do that for me?" And they're like, "Yeah," and so they had to go out of their way to do that, and that's a whole nother fucking group of shit. It's fucking insane. And so anyways, I'm trying to stay on topic, but every aspect is a slippery slope, and it slides into fucking all kinds of other shit. And that's the art of what they're doing. They have everything so fucked. Everything so fucking wadded and knotted and fucking not even tied together yet still. And you're like, you'll make your fucking head spin, right? And most people won't even take on the challenge, right? And I look back and there's a massive part of me that wishes that I did not take on the challenge. And then there's a huge part of me that says if I didn't, I fucking would never know. And therefore I would be a complete fucking idiot. The fucking idiots that I hate, the sheeple fucks that I hate, I would still be one of them. Okay? Okay, so now I finally get the phone call, and then I go back in front, and they're booking me, and then they fucking book me, and then they offer me right after that. So I made the phone call, and then I made another phone call, and I racked up like $40 worth of fucking bills for a quick to talk. Then after that. And so they're playing this game too. They already know. They got somebody on the other side that's like, okay, we just listened. So now bring him in and process him and book him. So then they book me, and I didn't even know that they were going to give me a phone call. And then after they book me and ask me, how many tattoos do you have? What's your, ask me all these questions that I don't want to answer, but I do. Then they're like, you want to make a fucking phone call? And I'm like, oh, you dirty fucking cunts. Oh, you some dirty fucks. Why the fuck? This is fucking beyond disgusting, man. Beyond disgusting. So, now they stick me back in the fucking cell. And hours go by again. Again, I was in there for almost 2 fucking days. I can't even remember. And I've asked every one of them, I said, hey, what is your name? And every one of them just fucking ignored me. Nobody had name tags on. I asked, I want all of the records before I leave. And they're like, yeah, shut the fuck up, right? They didn't say that, but they're like, oh, yeah, okay. And so they actually, like, I thought maybe I was going to get them and shit like that. And now we get to the point in which, so let's move. And now we get to the point where I'm going to be released because the bond went through. So I had somebody pay for my release, $750. And then now I'm sitting in a lineup, and I got to fucking sit there and go see a doctor or a fucking... And now, right? So now I sit in front of this fat fuck. There was a doctor, and he was like, you ex-military? I'm like, fuck no. And thank God. You fucking, this is how fucking, and he said, I said, why do you ask? And he says, oh, because I was, I was a corpsman, right? And I was like, what a piece of shit you are, huh? Right? Like, look at you. You literally, you were fighting for freedom, were you? And all that, and now you fucking playing all this bullshit. And I was like, yeah, fuck no. And I'm glad I wasn't, because if I was in the military fucking fighting for, or if I was in Iraq and I killed some people for this shit, I would be so fucking pissed, man. I would be so... And then he asked me some fucking questions, and he's being my buddy and shit and blah, blah, blah. And then he even... he was such a fucking bullshitter. And then all of a sudden, he pulls out this big-ass syringe, needle. And he starts pushing out all of this liquid. And it was a fat fucking liquid-filled syringe. It was a big one. Right? And I'm like, what's that? And he says, this is for tuberculosis or something. And here's a fact. When I was like, yeah, no thanks. And he's like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, no, dude. Like, no fucking way you guys are going to stick me with that fucking thing. Because here's a fact, is that back in 2017, I went to jail for walking across the street, jaywalking, in Las Vegas on Fremont Street at about like midnight, right? And when I was in there, I had to pay, I was there for almost more than 24 hours, roughly. I don't even know. And that's a whole nother game of fucking some crazy shit that I can't even believe it how they're doing it. But my point is that they fucking I went in front of a like a nursey fucking almost like his position, and she asked if I wanted a tuberculosis test, and I was like, what exactly are you talking about? And she said, oh, it's just a little prick, just a little jab of a needle, and if it bumps up and it starts getting sore, that means you have tuberculosis. And at this point in time, like I said, I was this is only I've discovered I was still in the discovery process, and I had not been fully out of this whole system in complete fucking disarray yet. So I was like, yeah, let me see it. And she jabs it, and no tuberculosis. I'm like, yeah, fucking no, I don't, but let's check it out. But again, if I had not experienced that, I would not have experienced the fact that this fucking guy is lying his fucking face off and he's trying to fucking inject me with something. This is fucked up shit. So I'm like, no, and he, thank God, he didn't go like what they did in 2014 and fucking force shit on me when I was fucking, they tied me down to a gurney, fucking in the emergency room and forced blood out of me, right? And that's another fucking story. And I was still had not learned my lesson then. So now I am fully adapted. I am fully awakened to what the fuck is going on. Anyways, I said no. He says okay. And now I go back and I sit out and I'm waiting. And then while I'm waiting, I found this odd. There was this bitch that was standing up there, and this dude came in. And I think I know who that fucking guy is. I think that was Sergeant Alvarez, but I don't know for sure. And this guy, he comes in and he's like, woo, I love my job. Yeah, and he was all fucking jacked up like a fucking weirdo. And he walks up and I guess he's being a hot shot in front of this fucking bitch, like maybe he's trying to fuck her. And that's another thing that I saw. I think there's a lot of fucking going on amongst them, because like I seen people hugging each other. Oh hey, and it's like this was just shift changes and shit like that. This is a big fucking inner circle, right? And there's a bunch of fucking shit going on. So anyways, he goes and he says he's talking about how he fucked this guy over, and this guy's girlfriend didn't like how he was talking to her, and they're using women to do all of this too, right? So he was telling her to go fuck herself basically, and she called, right, because she felt like she was threatened, and then they showed up, and then they fucking got all up in his ass, and then they found a gun. And then I can't even remember like what the fuck rest, but he was like jacked up, and he loves his job, and he loves fucking these people, right? Fucking crazy. So, yeah. So now I get processed out. I'm sitting outside waiting to like actually be able to finally leave. So I'm right on the verge of being able to leave. And I'm in my pissy pants. Okay. So now I go, and while I'm being processed, I go to get all of my articles, my clothing, right? And they throw me a fucking plastic bag that still has my pissy pants in it. And so now I have to put on my pants. Everything, like all the way down to my socks and shit, was filled with piss, and it was stored in a plastic bag for about almost 2 days, fermenting. So I put those on, and then I have a bandana, And I go and I put it on my head, and then fucking Resendez is like, get that off your fucking head, right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I thought I was just released and shit. And then I was wondering, what do you do for Jewish people? And then I started thinking, you know what? I bet you any money they never even touch a fucking Jew. I bet you any money, right? So anyways, and what if that's my religion? They don't give a fuck, right? Because everybody else is respected for their religion and shit. When the facts are that, hey, I cover my crown chakra, and if I wanted to use a baseball cap, whatever the fuck I want to use, that's what I use for my religion because I'm covering my crown chakra, right? Just like that's why they do it. Anyways, and I'll never get any respect. I am considered a fucking pig among all of the pigs, all of the white fucking scumbag pigs, right? Of America, the United States, fucking citizens, right? Now, again, there are 3 tiers. There are Americans all the way up at the top, and this has nothing to do with them, even though they're the ones that are making or allowing everything down. But I can see, I got no problem with them. I see where they kind of at. It's the Americans that are getting paid, like, I don't know, $24 an hour to be a complete fucking scumbag, and you enjoy it. That's the fucking problem, right? So an American, right? An American can go and an American can go and try to find any piece of shit monkey that is willing to do their dirt for them, right? They're like, hey, if you're willing to do it and shit, then fuck, let's do it. I mean, if I'm gonna make money out of it, let's. And so there's the Americans, the Americans, all of those scumbags that were in the jail, fucking, and then there's the Americans, me, the worthless of the worthless, fucking scum. All right, so yeah, so now I'm in my pissy pants, and I go and I say to Resendez because there's an opportunity, and he wants me to sign some shit, right? Sign a release for all of this shit, and I was like, hey, before I sign anything, tell me exactly who signed this, and I pull out that Demonico with the judge. Right? And there's a signature there that I don't know, is just a scribble mark. And he goes and says, I don't know. And I said, you don't fucking know. Dude, you're right there beside me. So you don't know? Well, I want to find. And then all of a sudden, there was this big dude that all of a sudden came up out of nowhere, and he stands in my right, like we're in the military here. Right? Resendez is standing on the other side of a window, right? And he's transferring stuff through a window, and now there's this fucking guy that shows up out of nowhere, and I think his last name was Vorse. That's what he said. And he now is fucking standing up so close that I can feel his breath on my fucking face, right? And he's like, got a problem? And I'm like, fucking, who the fuck are you, dude? I said, no, I don't have a problem. I'm trying to find out. And then, all of a sudden, trying to find out who's signed this. And then all of a sudden, fucking that piece of shit McFarlane, who calls himself McFarlane, he comes up fucking straight up my ass, nut to butt, fucking hovering right in me, like fucking with his fucking chin on the back of my fucking head. And he's like, yeah, he says, oh, you got a fucking problem again or something. And I'm like, hey, you want to get the fuck off of me, right? And he's like, come on. And then they go and they take me back into the fucking cell, and they throw me in the fucking cell. So now I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, you fucking dirty fucking whores, man. You some fucking scumbags, man. I would spit in every one of your fucking faces. And I would love, and I would do this any fucking day of the week. I would love for any one of you fucking little cunts to act like a man, and you can beat my ass all you fucking want, but do it one on one, and we show up, and if you got that much of a fucking problem, and if you're that much of a badass, we'll fucking fight to the death right fucking now. Right on the street. No fucking weapons, nothing. We just fucking fight and scrap it the fuck out, right? And I'll fight for my freedom, and you'll fight to be a fucking piece of shit. I'll fight to be left the fuck alone and get a little bit of goddamn respect, and you'll fight just so you can be a piece of shit to me. I would love for you fucking, any one of you fucking cunts to do that. I'll do it any day, all fucking day. And then I'll do it even after I get my ass whooped by you. Just by you. I will still tell you to go fuck yourself every fucking day of the week, all day, right? With my face fucking battered fucking black and blue, I will still tell you to go fuck yourself. And then when I get all healed up, I will fucking tell you to go fuck yourself again and let's meet again, you fucking piece of shit. And we'll can go on for fucking as long as it takes for me to get a little bit of fucking respect. Anyways, so now I get thrown back into the cell, and now this fucking Sergeant Dodson comes in within, I don't know, maybe quickly he shows up. And he's like, come on. And I walk out, and he's like, you need to sign all of this shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not signing anything, actually, right? Unless you fucking sign it. And Resendez was standing right there with me, and he was looking all like fucking pissed off and shit. And Dodson was actually fairly cool, right? And he was, one of the better guys, I guess. A guy that looked like he had a little bit of heart. And he's like, yeah, sure. Okay, if that's what it takes. And then he goes and says, I need your fingerprint. And I'm like, no, you put your fucking thumbprint on it. So he put the thumbprint on it, and I wrote on every fucking document, no contract. Under duress, no contract on every fucking thing. Right? And then I said, I want your fucking card. And he gave me his card. Right? His business card. And then I said, I want all of these documents that I just fucking signed. I want them. Right? And you keep the copy. Right? And I want the original. He says, yeah, I can't, that's not going to happen. And so I fucking, okay. So you fuck. All right, well, I'm not going to sit here and fucking argue with this fucking guy for, like, what? And I should have. I should have just kept my fucking ground, and I should have just fucking ignored his fucking ass, and I should have just stayed there for fucking days. And looking back, I will now, because I know how this fucking system, again, I had not fucking experienced this. This was all first time, and now I see the holes, and I see problems, and I see things that I would go and fucking straighten up. So I go, how long are we on? Damn, almost an hour. I fucking hate this. And but this is one of the first times that I'm getting out I'm spilling out all of what had actually happened. And I've been meaning to do this. And I've done it on occasion sitting by myself, and I've never actually posted it. And I don't know where they are exactly right now. But, so, he fucking goes, and I am now get a package. And I'm released. And now I'm right outside the door, and I'm in the sheriff's office. And I go straight into the fucking open records. With Bethany, I believe was her name, Bethany, and I think it was and there was an old guy with Vorse, that fucking same dick fuck, right? And they were there fucking kicking it and having a little good time in a conversation with Bethany, who was a fairly attractive female. So it looked like they were kind of like hitting on, he's trying to get some pussy. And the old dude, I think, I think that might have been Evans. Again, nobody had a fucking name tag on. So now I open up the package that was just given to me as Resendez walks me in, walks me right up to the door. As soon as totally, this is totally fucking like deceptive fucking behavior in every aspect. Oh, they also wanted me to sign a hold harmless, and I fucking put no contract. And I don't know if they do that with everybody, but they were literally saying that if I sign that, then I don't have any right to go back, and I left, right? I relieve them of all liability. It's all so weird. I could go through this shit fucking for a day, unfucking all the fuckery that these fucking cunts have in place. It's fucking disgusting. I did not know that the fucking country was operating in such fucking lies and deceit, and that exactly is why everywhere you look, it's a slogan. It's like land of the free, home of the brave, and that flag is waving for truth, justice, and the American way, and blah, 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 and it's a fucking joke. And there is no constitution. There is absolutely no constitution. It's all a fucking scam, people. Every fucking aspect of it. Every fucking aspect of it is all 100% lies and deceit. And they start you off very young, pushing all of their lies and deceit, making you believe it, indoctrination. And I believed it for the longest time, and and it took me multiple years of getting fucked over to see and open up and peel back the onion, right? So the first time I get fucked over, I just see one little layer. The second time I go and I push against that little layer to be able to fucking see that, oh, wait a minute. So the more that you push back and the more that you don't consent, the harder you make it for yourself, but the more that you're going to pull back all of the fucking layers to go and see that down at the fucking center of this onion is nothing more than a bunch of fucking liars, right? And everybody is in cahoots with each other, so that means it's all one collusion, it's all one huge fucking conspiracy, and that is a fucking fact, and I cannot believe it. And here's another fact, is that it doesn't even matter. Like, I can talk till I'm blue in the face, and I'm pretty much going to, because this is DMT, dead man talking, right? They're just gonna fucking take me out anyways, right? And that's why I am talking. But it doesn't matter, because there is nothing that I can do. There's nothing. Period. End of story. So, I already know there's nothing I can do. The only thing that I can do is just tell you my story, right? And that's it. So, I mean, and they're still not, they're not going to even respect that, right? So when I tell the story, they're going to use it all against me to fucking want to kill me, right? And be like, oh, he hates, like, anti-law enforcement. Oh, he does. Yeah, no, I don't fucking, I'm all about law, actually. You guys are all about the fucking, the fucking lies of law, right? You're about your bullshit appearance of law, color of law. It's colorable law, right? Meaning any one of you little fucking cunts can pick up a crayon, right? Like you little fucking children, and just recolor and stroke out whatever you don't like, and every one of you are all, you're all in cahoots. It's all a big conspiracy. And now I see, and so what they are doing with the media and shit, are the black African Americans of America have been getting fucked so bad out of this. There's no doubt in my mind. And what they're doing now is they're trying to make the African Americans believe that it's all white people, it's all Europeans like me, right? That fucking hate them and because we don't have because we lack this, there's this huge communication barrier. They can believe that shit. And then there's also a point where I believe that they fucking hate me. So they're pitting us up against each other, right? Strategically, and they sit in the center and play all of their games, but because 98% of all the people on each side are like in a sheeple mode, they're they fucking don't have a clue what they're doing or talking about, and everything that they do know is all coming out of the fucking television. So anyways, now I walk into the public records. Bethany, I have gone and made so many record requests, and so now I get to actually meet the fucking bitch that has fucking denied me all of my shit since 2016. Now I see who's responsible. And she knows who I am because I sent them a thing stating stating that I'm not one of their fucking their corporate slaves, right? And that my people come from, and I showed, and they sent me back the exact same thing stating, "Oh, we don't understand what you want us to do with that." Right? And they do that all day too. They're all completely fucking dumb. They're completely fucking idiots. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. However, in any aspect when anything's coming from you, however, and I hate that word "you" because that's a female sheep, EWE. And so you and one can look. And I need to try. I don't know what to use for that word, but I'm going to start using one or just peoples, because another thing is person is not people. Person is another aspect in which there is legal fiction and legal persons, and so what they're doing is they're operating on the whole legal fiction side, and they're using legal persons, which would be a sole corporation. And I don't even want to go down that fucking rabbit hole, but it's all fucking facts, right? And so I get to see this bitch, and I open up this thing because Juan Resendez walks me up to the door. I opens up the door. I fucking step out, and then he hands me over what I thought was going to be all of the fucking documentation that I just signed, that Dodson said was going to be there. So now I'm standing there in front of fucking Vorse, this old fuck, and they're fucking sitting there trying to fuck this Bethany Riviera, I think it was her name. And I open up the fucking, and I'm standing there with my pissy pants on and shit like that, right? And I open up the fucking letter, or the envelope, a manila envelope, and there's fucking nothing in it. Yeah, nothing in the fucking thing. So, I said to the two fuckheads, Vorse and the other fuck cunt, I said, excuse me. I said, Resendez just walked me out, and he said that, and they said that they were going to give me all the paperwork. Dodson said they're going to give me all the paperwork, and Resendez walked out, and then he handed me this. I open it, and look, there's fucking nothing in it. Is it possible one of you guys can contact Dodson or go back and get the paperwork or something? And they're like, no. And they fucking walked outside. They walked right past me, and they were like laughing at me, like, yeah, no. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I asked her, right, Bethany, I'm like, can you? And she's like, I don't have the capability. I'm like, holy fuck. You fucking people are deranged fucking psychopaths. You're fucking sociopaths. And here's another fact, is that the state, they give psychiatric evaluations. They gave me fucking psychiatric evaluations. They give those motherfuckers psychiatric evaluations. How does it happen that everybody is a fucking sociopath? The state does that on purpose, obviously. Okay? So now I'm like, can I use a phone? And because I fucking had asked for Dodson's fucking thing, his business card. And now she goes and says there's one right outside. And I said, yeah, does that fucking connect to? She said, yeah. So I walk right outside, and as I walk outside, fucking now those two fucks, Vaz and the other fucking old fuck, are standing there. Fucking, they're like, can you believe he fucking asked us to go back and do something for him? And the other fuck's like, what a fucking idiot, right? And then they see me, and then they're just like, right? And I'm like, oh, I fucking hate you fucking whores. So I pick up the phone. I'm thinking to myself, I fucking hate you whores. And I pick up the phone, and I call that number, and Dodson answers. I'm like, hey, Resendez gave me a Milena and nothing in it. And he says, okay, I'll send it back out. So Dodson's actually fairly decent dude. And if anybody's there that I have any respect, it would be Dodson. Back up real quick. I just remembered something. As I was sitting out waiting to be released, that old fuck with divorce, he walked past, and he's like, oh, dee. He's asking me something, and he's like, oh, so you going home? And I'm like, yeah, you fuck. I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, well, good luck to you. and then fucking McFarlane came fucking by. Right? And I can't remember what he asked me, but he asked me a fucking, like he's my fucking buddy now. And then he started talking to all the guys, like fucking, dip. And then he fucking walks past, and fuck, I'm going to spit right in his fucking back. I would have loved to walk up and fucking slammed him to the fucking ground, fucking drive his face into the goddamn concrete, and fucking dislocate his fucking shoulder just for fucking, the Jews believe in an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Yeah? Anyways, I have control over myself. So I envisioned it. I was like, yeah, if it in another time, in another place, you fuck, right? So, yeah, or better yet, hopefully somebody else does it for me in some other aspect. Anyways, now I get on the phone, and Dodson fucking comes, and then fucking Resendez comes in and hands me over this, and I mean, he was fucking pissed. He's like, fucking, shoved it at me. And I'm like, thanks. Because now I was like, that was 1 point for me, right? I opened it up. It had all the fucking documentation that I signed. I walked back in to Bethany, and I fucking said to her, I want fucking open records request for what? For everything involving my fucking straw man, my fucking legal person, my legal fiction. Okay? And she says, okay, you have to fill out this. And I'm like, yeah, no, can't. You fill it out. Right? I'm sorry, but I can't. You have to fill this form out. And I said, she goes and says, I said, now I want it right now. Right? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, but all of our computers are down. And then I started, from that point, I started hearing, when I started calling out for fucking days, everywhere that I called, and I'm trying to get I'm trying to get all of the information that they all refused to give me while I was in. Every fucking time I called, their computers were down, and they didn't have the capability. Fucking lying whores. Liars. And so I filled the thing out, and I fucking handed it over to her, and she's like, okay, we'll get to work on it. Oh, I also said, you got that message that I wasn't one of your people, right? And you sent it back, and I said that I operate under common law, and you guys did not dispute anything that I said. right? So in other words, you guys accepted it, and then all of a sudden, some other fucking weirdo bitch comes out from the corner. I couldn't quite see her, and she's like, "No, no," and then all of a sudden, the girl's like, Bethany's like, "I'm sorry, are we finished? I got a bunch of work I got to do in the back," and I'm like, "Yeah, can you just answer?" And she's like, "No," and there's this fucking weird. And then I'm like, okay, this is this is going nowhere. So I fucking leave, and then I meet my ride, picks me up, and I told them to make sure they bring some a change of clothes, right? And so now I go and I get my change of clothes. I meet them in my pissy pants. I go back in and I go to the bathroom and I put on some new clothes, and then I come out and I go straight up to the sheriff's office's desk, the main desk, and there's this bitch there that is fucking sitting on the phone with smiles on her face, like yeah, like she's on a social fucking. She's socializing right now. And she's like, hold on, can you hold on? And then like, how can I help you, sir? And I said, yeah, I'd like to speak with the sheriff, please. And she's like, I'm sorry, he's not in. And this, I've called on many occasions. I've sent emails on many occasions. When is a good time to talk to this fucking guy? Fucking Rand Henderson? Their sheriff. He's not my sheriff. And he's not a fucking sheriff. He's an acting sheriff. He's acting as if he's a sheriff. And so, and they've all declined. And I said, well, can I set up an interview, a meeting or anything? Oh, no, I'm sorry. He doesn't accept that and shit. And so, yeah, so I'm just fucking, fucking blackballed. Get the fuck out of here. And you can talk to your blue in the face. So then I walk back out. And then turn around and I walk. And now Bethany is running across like she's in some urgency. She pulls out of the door and she runs across into what is labeled as the sheriff's fucking. So it's the door that fucking says sheriff. So it was his actual office inside the sheriff's office. And yeah, and so I don't know what that was about, but I'm assuming that it was about me, right? And what was going on, and all the fucking things that I was mentioning and bringing up, and all the things that had been fucking going for almost 3 years now, right? And yeah, so then we get to the point where I was granted a this Darren J. Ray. Now we'll get up to here. Now, so this is on April the 4th, 2022. I was granted this fucking guy, and he on the first day of there was about that was October, so there's about a month that went through. I never heard from his ass, right? And I called up his office and I started asking questions, and Esmeralda answered the phone. And she was just fucking playing the same game that I was like everywhere I called to try to get open records and try to ask some questions and try to find out who the other guy was and try to find out who called 911 on me and try to find out if they had videotapes and try to find out all these questions. And I was fucking told they all fucking playing games with me, and I'm spending like all day fucking calling. Right? And they're hanging up, and then I call another place, and they're hanging up on me, playing nothing but games, lying with me, and fucking lying to me and shit. And then it gets to the point where a sergeant or a Lieutenant Fitzgerald calls and says that if I call back, they're gonna fucking arrest me for harassment. Do not call back here and talk to the fucking. They're busy. I'm clogging up 911 phone calls, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not. I'm not calling. I'm calling the nine. Not calling 911. You have a non-emergency fucking line, and that's what I'm calling. And he's like, I don't care. Okay. Yeah. And so what happens is I call, and this Esmeralda goes, and I'm like, hey, can you? And she's like, oh, look at you. Hey, you want to come down here? Why don't you come down here? So she's taunting me, right, and trying to provoke me into coming down there. Right? And fucking talking to her in person and asking her questions. And I'm like, why? So you can fucking. She's like, are you going to come? Come on. Well, come on down here. come over here and come to our office and ask some questions, right? And I'm like, why? So you can fucking arrest me, right? So you can play your games? She's like, come on, buddy. No, come on. He's like a fucking weirdo. So I'm like, you're a fucking cunt. And I fucking hung up. And I never fucking once talked to this fucking Darren J. Ray, right? And then it turns out that when I show up to the fucking first court, this little Hispanic fucking bitch, fat, short, chubby, right? She shows up and she's like, are you... right, looking for and I'm like, yeah, what's up? And she takes me to the corner, right? And she's like, here, you need to sign this so you can be released. And I'm like, no, what's going on? And it was a whole list of, they want me to sign that I'm going to appear for 5 fucking court dates. There's a total of 5 fucking court dates that they want me to fucking, and this is for resisting arrest. However, right? They had another court opened. So what they did was they separated this one incident. They separated it into 2 venues. They had JP3 with Matt Beasley. They had that, and that was for I think public intoxication and disorderly conduct. I'm not exactly sure on that exactly. Right? Because I haven't actually ever seen any paperwork, and everything that I've tried, and they keep fucking dicking me around, just like, and this is the JP3, the same one that fucking prior to that, in 2016, Edie Connolly was there. And they didn't do anything when I tried to, when she fucking, when she did her whole game. This is such a fucking nightmare. Right? So, in other words, what's fucking crazy is that I'm showing up to that court before I even go to JP3, which is backwards, because they're trying to say that I was resisting arrest. And here's another thing: I don't even know what exactly they're saying, because there's 3 options. I was resisting arrest, transport, or no, it was search, comma, transport, comma, or arrest. And so I don't know which one I was resisting, or what they're claiming I'm resisting. And I still don't know to this day. And this is fucking, and I've asked 100 times, and this is where I'm going to get into showing all the evidence of still, even to this day, just in April, I fucking reached out and I sent over 60 faxes all over the place to try to get some closure to this and try to get the fucking same information that I was trying to get back in 2019, in August 2019. They still are just fucking ignoring me 100%, and this is the reason, is because they have nothing, and they're all a fucking bunch of fucking liars. They're fucking whores. Okay? And, oh my God, and yeah, and I have every fucking, I have every godly fucking reason to fucking call these people exactly what they are, and I would not be referring to them if they had not fucking presented themselves in every manner that way in which they're doing, right? I would not even be fucking talking about them. I wish I never even knew their fucking names. That would have been nice. And here's a fact, is that if they weren't so interested in fucking trying to squeeze a few $100 out of my ass, right? And use me like a fucking dirty whore slave bitch, right? If they weren't so involved and so interested in pimping me like I was their fucking nigger whore, right? And they had a little bit of respect, none of this would even be going on and taking place at any fucking way, right? And I would still be all cool with no problem with any of you people, right? And now, all I want to do is fucking spit venom in their fucking faces. Even, this is 2019, and this is 2022, and even to this day, I want to spit venom in their fucking faces. Okay, so this Darren J. Ray, yeah, he doesn't show up to court on that day, and I hadn't been to JP3 to go, and so if why are we going and dealing with a resisting arrest, search, or if I had not even been fucking considered to be right? So you would have to be arrested for a fucking reason first. So we hadn't even discussed that. And there should have been never even a separation because this should have all been in one court, right? And it should have been in the court in which would have been the highest charge, and these would have been lower charges, right? And I would have gone and been able to have a few of them dismissed, right? I could have accepted the lower charges to dismiss a higher charge, right? And so yeah, they're all fucking liars, and now they're all trying to play even more games, right? To try to weasel their fucking little ways out of it. So now there's this fat bitch who I can't remember her name, and I asked, and I don't even think she told me her name, and she's like, "Look, you just need to sign this so you can go home." And I'm like, "No, I'm not signing shit." Okay? And I'm not interested in going home. I'm interested in dealing with this shit and getting it the fuck done. You guys are interested in dragging it out for as long as you can so you can make fucking money. And every one of you fucking whores is making money as you are sitting here fucking every one of these people. And there is a shit ton of people. Okay? Now, I'm like, no. So, there's a Duckworth and Ray is the law, the legal society, and they're partnerships. And so this is Darren J. Ray. This is their little a legacy of trust. See, to protect your rights, you need an honest assessment of your case, followed by experienced professional representation. They have competence and compassion and integrity. They're such fucking liars, right? Right? And he's so fucking. They're so full of fucking shit. So this guy, Tony Duckworth, is his buddy. I like how they don't show his face. They only show his side profile. There used to be where they changed this up. Maybe it's in here. They changed it up. So let's see. There used to be funny that they don't have okay, this is him. So this guy, he then shows up because I refuse to sign anything, and she keeps fucking trying. Come on, you need to sign. And I'm like, Get the fuck out of my face. So he shows up and he's like, "Hey man, you need," and I'm like, "Where's my attorney?" And he's like, "Oh, he has a murder case that he had to go to." And then I'm thinking, so then why the fuck didn't he reschedule? Because and you know why he didn't reschedule? You would think that he would reschedule? It's that simple. Well, and the reason is because they wanted to get me in signing all that shit before I go over to Justice of the Peace, which was that was in August the 20 something, and then Justice of the Peace was on September the 3rd, which is going to be like a week later. So this is all a orchestrated fucking con, is what it is, right? And so then he goes in, or hold on. He didn't come out. I saw him when I actually entered into the court. So now what they do is they bailiff steps out at the court. I think Houghton, I think it was his name. It was the same one as the second appearance, that special guest appearance that I made for my straw man. And now this fucking, he comes out and he says, "Tuck in your shirts, turn off all your cell phones." Right, and he gives everybody an order, and everybody's in a lineup, and I could literally feel the fear from all of the sheep. Right, I wasn't afraid, but I could feel it, like everybody was, right. This is fucking crazy, man. And so and then he goes and he pulls us all in. He opens up the door and he like inspects everybody. So you have to tuck in your shirts for fucking some reason, right? And you have to have your cell phone off. They didn't check the cell phones, and now you walk in, and then he stands up at this podium on the left-hand side of the door, and he starts calling out people's names. Everybody sits down in these in the pews in the shit, right? PU. And like the fucking fucking human farming animals that we all are for these gods. And this is the banking administrator, Keith Stewart, who was in charge of that court. And so then they start calling out everybody's name, and you say, "Yeah, here," and then fucking he starts checking off this fucking long list. And then they start handing out these this document. and I thought I was recording, and I don't know exactly when I stopped recording. And so, shit, I thought that I was recording. Fuck. And so, there is the case on. I'll just repeat the last like minute or just a few minutes that I've been talking. There was so on the SWAT team, when they came and they said, "Hey, we're serving a warrant," and I said, "Hey, I got proof, and I'll slide it underneath the door." They didn't want to have that. They wanted me to come out so they could kill me, or take me into jail, and then they could kill me, right? And I'm like, "Yeah, I have proof. I'll slide it under the door," and they didn't want to have anything to do with that, and they left. And then my mother called Tina Long at this guy's office. She answers, and she goes and says, "What's going on? Why are you guys fucking assaulting my house and everything?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And she fucking says, "There's guys out here saying he's got a warrant out." And she's like, "Yeah, he's got a warrant for failure to appear." And then my mother says, "Hey, but I took him. I know he was there because I fucking took him. I even remember what color shirt he wore." Right? And then Tina Long says, "Yeah, I remember what shirt he wore because he wore the same shirt both times." And they were like, bingo. And so she's like, "Yeah, so he showed up, so then why does he have a warrant?" And then she goes and clams up again. And she's like, "Listen, you tell him to be here on Thursday, I think it was Thursday, at 9 o'clock. And I said, "Hey, hold on for a second." I got on the phone, and she was really nice to my mother, right? Because there's this thing going on that with a man they're cunts, right? But with a woman they're a little bit nicer and a little bit more friendly, whether screwing them over, right? And so I go and I said, "Hey, there's I was looking in the court records, and there's a number that's associated, right? It's an ID, Texas ID number. What exactly is that?" Right? And then she goes, "You just be here." And I said, "Yeah, but I'm trying to prepare for your court." And okay, I'll be there, but I'm trying to prepare. So I know what exactly. And then she just fucking hung up on me, right? And then I had to do a little bit of digging. And I come to find out it's actually a driver's license number, because I had gotten a driver's license back like 10 years prior. And so what had happened was I go and I contact the Department of Public Safety, who issues the licenses. And I go and I said, "Hey, is there a number for this? Check." And they check it on for me. They're actually working. And I'm like, "Great. I found somebody that fucking does something." Right? And they say, "Yeah, but it's been expired for like up to 10 years. I can't remember the exact." Right? And then I said, "Okay, so why is it that you guys are using it for court if it's not?" And then all of a sudden they now they don't answer any more questions. I said, "They're going after me and this is in a warrant." And so what they're trying to do is they're not going after me. They're going after that driver's license that is inside of their system, that is a straw man. And the facts are that when I went and I created joinder. When I took on their driver's license, I signed that I will go and fucking obey every one of their orders, and I will be their fucking slave. And the crazy part is that they won't tell me any, but I come to find out that is actually active for as long as you live now. So, right? And they're making profit off of that and doing bonds and shit, right? So now you are a subject to the corporation doing business as the state of Texas. You are literally like an employee, a subject who will obey them, and they can fucking issue bonds, and you're gonna do whatever they fucking tell you to do. And here, I never knew that. I figured that once it was expired, then they have nothing. But no, they keep everything in the back end, and this is for everything that you do. Everything that you sign and you agree to with any type of state, all licenses, everything is stays with you for the rest of your life and sticks in the back end, and they're fucking making bonds and shit off of it and making profit. The state is making profit off of it, right? And so I think I had thoroughly said everything that's needed to be said. Now, this is that Darren J. Ray. This is a fact. These are all going to be, this is the phone number, and it has been successfully sent, and this would be, so I'm going to show you a bunch of these. This is the time, and this is the date. And, right, there is one page, cover sheet, and your text, with your text and one page of attached documents. And this was me asking him a bunch of questions. I have all of this, but I'm not going to. And this was April the 4th, 2022. Never heard from him. Still haven't heard from him. Never once have I fucking been able to get a single bit of information except for the one fucking time on the second court date halfway through when he sat down right beside me and asked me if I want him to represent me, and I ignored him, and he got up and fucking walked away. And then put into the court records that he no longer wants to be my attorney because of my inability to work for him. All right. Going backwards. And then this is Tuesday, April the 5th. And this is to Kristen Bays, who Wells Fargo put tried to sue me for $100,000. And then all of a sudden, I tried to contact them and be my own lawyer representing myself. So I started asking them questions, and they refused every aspect. And then they went to court, and I didn't go because, I mean, why? They haven't done any. And then that's a whole nother ball game. I'm not even going to get into that. However, I never received one bit of actual real information, evidence, and I still don't know anything of what happened. And I even call Wells Fargo right now. I'll call Wells Fargo as soon as I say my name. They'll say you have to contact the court. And then I contact the court, and I've done it I've contacted prior to this, I've contacted the court fucking with dozens of other faxes coming from a different fax number, and I'm doing it again, and I still don't know a single thing of what's going on. And these fucking people there's nobody that works here. Nobody in the whole fucking country, once you get up to fucking into the banking system, which everything is the banking, all the courts are banking, are port courts, right? So there is all banking, all judges are banking administrators. A judge, an actual real judge, would be operating in a constitutional capacity, right? And then in a constitutional capacity, there would have to be an injured, there would be in common law, there would have to be a true injured party, right, that is seeking some sort of, has evidence that you have injured them and is seeking some sort of remedy. Right? And these people are just fucking going through the motions, and they're sucking everybody's fucking money out of them, and they're fucking destroying lives. Okay? So this is another one, right? This one was that one. And this one, I did the wrong name. This was April the 5th, Tuesday. It's confirmed, it's been successful. Every one of these has been successful. This is out of 63 successful ones, and there's other ones that don't include specific. I didn't mean to put the Wells Fargo aspect in because I got a bunch of shit that has Wells Fargo involved, and I got a bunch of other things that are kind of linked to the same county, right? And there's a bunch linked to the same county. However, I was trying to keep this on the warrant that is out at the current time with this guy and with that guy. And all of the fuckery and bullshit that they're playing with me. These people are fucking. They're. I can't believe. I cannot believe. At. I cannot believe what the fuck is going on with this shit. I cannot even believe it still to this day. This is the chief of all of everybody in the whole county. He's the head commissioner. I sent it out. It had 2 pages plus 1 page of the cover letter with the text. It was sent out on April the 5th at 6:12. It was successful. Still never heard anything back from him. This was to Greg Abbott. Who the fuck was Greg Abbott? Greg Abbott is the Texas. Oh, yeah. American politician, attorney, former jurist who has served the 48th governor of. So this is the governor. So I sent that out to the governor of Texas. At that fax number, it was successful. Did it on that date. I put 3 pages of attached documents with a bunch of questions or a bunch of evidence of what I'm going through, and haven't never heard a word from him. Still to this day. Then I sent another one out to Greg Abbott with 2 pages on the next day. That was on April the 5th. This was April the 6th. Still haven't heard anything from him. Then I went and I faxed to Sadler. This, I think I put just, oh, here it is. That's 5:12. This is 5:30 p.m. on April 6th. Every one of these was on April the 6th. And so what I did was I put all of their, so one's going to Sadler. So the fax numbers are different. I'd have to look up at the fax number, but I just put all of their names up, right? And then each one, so I did one at 5:06 p.m., one at 5:12 p.m., one at 5:30 p.m., and one at 5:46 p.m. to 1, 2, 3, 4 to each one of these 4 individuals. This would be, or no, it'd be 3 individuals. So it would be the governor of Texas again, B. Allen, I can't remember who that is, and Sadler is the county, another county, Montgomery County, County of Montgomery. Commissioner. Never heard anything fucking by him. Alan Sadler. Oh, that's the county judge. Montgomery County judge. This is that county judge, Mark. And that's another thing. They got so many, and none of they, yeah, Alan B. Sadler. Oh, this is the sheriff, Rand Henderson. I don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. That's Brett Ligon, the district attorney that you will see. That's Beasley. And I like how this is resigns to combat human trafficking. Oh, and here's another aspect: is inside their courts they have the actual real flag, right? Without the gold fringe, they have them in pictures. If you look on the wall opposing this, they'll have the United States flag inside of a picture. However, when you look in the back of their courtroom or even at the front, like this, they're actually flying their admiralty. So that is what they're actually involved in, and they just have the other one as a decoration. This is B.D. Griffin, who is the county court, the county attorney, and then this guy is the district attorney. And you see their gold fringe in the back. So this is just a decoration of what used to be, of the past, right? It's a picture on the wall. There again, picture on the wall. And I love how these people are getting to take pictures. However, you're not allowed to go into the courthouse and take video. Fighting crime, is he? Yeah, I'm sure he is. This is Nowak. James Nowak. You'll see that I sent pictures or faxes to him too. Where is the Adam? Alan B. Sadler. This is Alan B. Sadler. Judge fined, loses license in a DWI case. And I like how, he's praying. This shit is crazy. Oh, he's judge detained after Conroe accident. Give me a break. Oh, he's a hero right there. Look at him. Superman. So anyways, you'll see. So that's Sadler. And B. Allen, I can't remember. So let's move on. That's 57 of 50. Now we're on 56. John Cornyn, I don't know exactly how he wants to pronounce this. That's the United States Senator. So, sent him a fax. It was successful. And then I sent another one. No, that was the same one. This is an error of original titled. Oh. I made an error on the title here, 004, so that was a correction. But that went through. No word. Oh, I forgot. I didn't mean to put this in. I've also tried contacting the IRS for multiple reasons to try to get some information so I can move forward, and they also have never contacted me back. So what the fuck am I? And this is why I don't have a right to vote. This is all a fucking scam. If I can't even, I don't even have a right to get an answer to a question that's fucking plaguing me and bothering me and I need to get an answer to. So what makes you people think you actually, your vote, you don't know fucking jack shit. I know I don't know fucking shit about a fucking thing. Because I've been asking. So this one was to Henderson, Sadler, B, and Greg Abbott. That one went through 3 pages. I think what I did here is I only sent it obviously to one individual. How is that not coming up? I think that's a. I think that is Henderson's. I had to dig. So while I was digging, I found one that was right up on the front, and there's one that was in the background. Either way, it went fucking through, and nobody. This one was directly to Rand Henderson, who is the acting sheriff, asking him it went through. This is the lagging. Are they going to see? They could have taken these numbers out. No, that one goes to there. Oh, that's how it works. So I had to literally go to Woodlands Online, right, to find the number, the fax number. And these other fax numbers, I had to go and dig into like PDF files and shit like that. So they're legit. This is Mark Turnbull, who is the county recorder, the king of the county recorders. See, there's some bullshit here. Let me. Mark Turnbull. Fucking prove what I'm talking about. Clerk. Oh, the fax system is currently experiencing technical difficulties. Maybe that's why. But you can see that where did I find this? I had to dig for the shit because they're hiding things. They don't want people. I started blowing up their shit with faxes. They don't want to have to deal with that. What was that number? 6990. I remember, there is a specific page that had a bunch of I wonder if they took that down. I don't have all the information in front of me. However, believe me, they are fucking lying, and they're putting all kinds of I might get it by the time I'm done here. See, like, they're not even, this one doesn't even have a phone number anymore and shit, right? They are actively trying to hide. And the thing about here's what they're also doing. If you see, I'm using a fax, this fax 0. They're not able to fucking find out exactly where I'm located, right? However, if you do an email, then they can look up your email. So for an example, if you want to look, you go to there and you can pull up the you can pull up the IP address on where it was from. Then you can look up the IP address. and I'm not going to dig into it, but yeah, like right here, boom, DNS records. So that's why you would go, because anybody that's smart would use the fucking fax like this. And so now that goes and puts them in a fucking predicament, because then they don't know. Oh, it was right here. Duh. Fax 0. Oh, they're so sleazy, man. So sleazy. What if I get that fax number? There is a Texas info. What is the Texas? No, it wasn't this. I'll get to it. I'm sure I'll find it. Business directory. Elected officials. County offices. That's messed up when these individuals, this Woodlands Online, which is nothing more than it used to be, it just started as a classified ad. See, Beasley, fax number. Now, if I go and I just pull that number up, That will show. What if I do it like that? See? That's why. That's why. If I go in, so what was this other number? If I put the hyphens in, there you go. Facts. County clerks. Marked home, not secure. And that's another thing that I've noticed. A lot of these, like, why is that not secure? So there is why I did not. Mark Turnbull. You see, and that's weird because he had in the other page, it said that they're not accepting faxes anymore. So they're clearly, yeah. Commissioner court records. See, they're segregating. This one's for the commissioner court records, and the other one was for I can't remember off the top of my head. However, I did discover exactly what the problem is. So if I go over here, that's weird. Justice of the peace. All right, so they're not deceiving. I just had to go and put a hyphen in. I just had to do my due diligence. Constable's office. That must be who. So yeah. Becoming noted peacekeeper under King William the Conqueror. In 1066, constables' responsibilities were expanded with the adoption of the Magna Carta. And then what the fuck are you people talking about? You people can't even stay focused on 2022, and they're talking about they're giving you a history lesson. And the Magna Carta, are you royalty? If you're not royalty, then what the fuck are you talking about? And instead of getting my history lesson, can I get some facts? Some facts about the shit that you guys are fucking screwing me with? Is that possible? Right? That's the constable office where I walked in and was trying to serve them. What the fuck happened there? I think I put that accidentally. Tried to serve him, and Atkins said, "Yeah, no thanks." Yeah, okay, there it goes. That was the Rand Henderson, the sheriff's office. All right, so now I've proved. So I've sent it to him. I've proved I'm not full of fucking shit. And real quick, this arrest on a warrant. Arrest on a warrant. Arrest instanter. A Latin term meaning without delay or instantly. The term is used in various legal contexts. A writ of possession, where an attorney files a motion requesting an action to be taken, that the action be allowed immediately. In other words, it's bullshit. I'm really curious to see. Okay, let's go down this. Another instanter. Instanter. Yep, instanter. Drove on the wrong side of the road. Okay, wait a minute. We got this offense description. Possession of second-degree felony. Possession. CS. Fail to maintain. No insurance. Drove on the wrong side of the road. Possession of marijuana. Less than 2 ounces. Order of arrest. And then they're going to tell you, like, man, okay, so I know this guy's age, his full name, senior even. He's not a man, but he's a male because he's a package. Name, number. However, if I call, I cannot find out if there's an arrest, if there's a warrant out for my arrest. However, I can go on here and find out every bit of fucking. He's married. He lives at 15652 Ben Wiggins Road, Conroe, Texas. He was incarcerated on June the 8th at 1. Can I go and how about Jeremy or Matlock, the guy that smashed my face in? That's him right there. Except they don't have his face there anymore. How about... There he is. Okay. How about we try this one? There's that piece of shit. Yep. See? They didn't put my mugshot up there for some reason. This was on 8/8. Let's get all the details. Nothing. They don't have any of the details, but they do for everybody else. And these are the guys that were in. Actually, there's a guy that was in. So, I remember this guy. I was in a cell with this guy. I was in a cell with this guy. I was in a cell with that guy. This guy here, he was wearing the suit that I was talking about for I don't know, like when he looked like he was a fucking that's a badass dude. This guy wasn't fucking playing, and he was, everything about him was like was being handled in a weird way. But I saw him on a couple occasions, and he the whole time he was in that the suit that they put me in. I was in with this guy. I was in with that guy. That guy was talking about they were out fucking they were stalking his house and shit because he likes to do meth. And they were on private property, fucking staking him out. I was in with this guy. Why are these mugshots not available here? I'm thinking it's because these people actually did something and I didn't. And they wanted me to do, and see, they're getting ad space for all this shit. I was in with that guy. Yeah, they don't even have any. Yeah, they know they're fucked up. Fucking cunts. Fucking assholes. Beasley. Make sure you got this Beasley right. Beasley with an E. Law enforcement moves in and seizes animals in Splendora. You're my heroes. Is that the only one? No. There's... Oh yeah, and this Jeremy Matlock, his dad that was involved, I pulled up records on him, and the guy has like a couple assault charges with like assault with a deadly weapon and shit. Why did it say he was on this page? There he is. That ugly fucking turd. So why? Guess you have to have it. I guess better yet. Search. Yeah. Okay, got him on that one. Three 9/22. Driving while intoxicated. Evading arrest. Failed to signal lane change. Harris failed to maintain something. No insurance. That fucking piece of shit. This one he thinks he's cute. What a fucking fuck. 5/12/2022. That just happened. That happened about 2 weeks ago. Piece of shit. Fucking scumbag. Get that done. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3. And this one. I wonder why they don't have his fucking fugly ass piece of shit face up. They do. That's the same one. You got that one, and that one. 8/31/20. That's, you got that one, and that one. And what's fucking crazy is that they refuse to allow me to fucking to do it, to press charges against him, but he was driving with a suspended license. Oh no, we'll put him in jail for that. We'll put him in jail for driving while intoxicated. We'll put him in for that. We'll put him in for fuck did that fucking rodent go? That fucking whore. We'll also put him in for evading arrest. And that was on 3. Holy shit. Just this year, he's already been arrested twice. That was 2020. This was 5 months. About 5 months after he smashed my fucking face in, he gets arrested. And he's got the fucking, thinks he's fucking cute there. And then he gets arrested just about 3 months ago. And, you don't look like you're so fucking, you don't look like you fucking think you're cute there, you fuck. Good, you piece of shit. Anyways, I lost track, but I wanted to. So you can skip forward. So we got the Mark Turnbull, and we got the Ryan Gable. This fax went through. Constable Ryan Gable, Precinct 3. That's who that was. And you have to vote for this fucking guy. And none of these people, they don't do anything. They don't fucking do anything for you. So that's Ryan Gable. They don't even have the fucking respect and appreciation. Oh, this is Atkins. This is the guy that I handed over the affidavits to. And he said, no thanks, and he kicked me out. Well, he didn't kick me out. He just closed the door on me. And so there's nobody else there. It was a small little space. And then he kicked me out of the precinct, or Matt Beasley's office. Oh, look, he's got himself a little reward. Is that the same guy? Looks like he put on some weight. Must be getting well fed. He's on YouTube. On May the 13th, started following and recording me while shopping at Home Depot. I filed the record request for the recording. On the first video, you can see Gable recording me. On the second video, you can see what Gable returned as his video. My video. What a fucking dick. And hey dude, if you're not working, are you working right now? Then get your fucking gun off your fucking hip. If you're not working. If you're not working, you're a goddamn pedestrian just like the rest of us. Anyways. You really lost. Dude, you really went downhill, bud. I mean, from there to there. Jesus. To there? Damn, how long ago was that picture? You look young there. Now you look like an old bloated bag. Yeah. pimping the people, making lots of money, huh? Pimping the people. You should be proud of yourself. Aww. Congrats. You're such a sweetheart. Look at this guy. Anyways. Yeah, it succeeded in 3 pages, no word back. This is Kristen Bays again. Fucking no word back. This is Brett Lagan. Every one of these has successfully, and there's 3 pages of attached documents with a 1 page of a cover letter. And I went into details, and just like I'm doing right now, tons of questions, and I'm fairly fucking sharp, and at every aspect, I'm doing nothing but learning. How fucking, we're in 2 hours and 30 minutes now. I'm sure I got everybody sleeping. However, this is Darren John. Darren J. Ray actually stands for John. Fucking did him again. This time I did 3 pages because I started sharpening it up even more whenever I started off kind of slow, sluggish. I just threw some out, and then I was like, okay, now I'm starting to build on these as the days go by, and I'm spending more and more time and energy on this shit. And this is another one, Duran Henderson. This was actually 2, 1 to each. If I remember correctly, I think you get 5. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you get 3 per day. And again, I'm starting to ramp up because I'm not getting anything back. So I've sent 1 to each one of his fax numbers. 3 pages, each one. This was on a Sunday. I'm even working on a fucking Sunday here. Hour back to back. This is to David Bluestein. No word back. Not a single fucking one of these people have the courtesy to respond to me. This is Alan B. There should not be a. This is one man now. Oops. That should not have a. Okay, he's not actually working there anymore. However, somebody is working there still, and that was the only fucking point. Was I was sending to whoever answers this phone number or a fax number. They have it as just his commissioner's court building. Civil service. Contact information. Yeah, there's the number. So, this is civil service. No word back. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. I got things to do. Mark Turnbull again. Bull again. For the court. I want all my goddamn affidavits back. I spent some good money on this. This paper was like cardboard. And it specifically says on each one of them that they need to be sent back after signed after V to verify that it was done. This is the lawyer that I saw after I fired Jay Ray. This is the district attorney who's in charge of it all, Justin Kendrick. Who was that guy? Probably better off just getting the fax number and sticking a hyphen in it. Oh, okay. So yeah, this was the Herman Memorial, in which I had a question because I got beat up outside of a Nickelback concert in Montgomery County at the Symphony Woods Pavilion. There was Nickelback was playing. It was on about June the 27th, 28th of 2017, if I remember off the top of my head. And I woke up in their hospital, and they stuck a bunch of. And when I woke up, the girl there, the nurse, blonde-haired nurse. First off, they put me in ICU, and they put me as a John Doe. Meanwhile, I had my bank card in my ATM card with my name on it inside of my fucking pocket. They removed a diamond studded earring that is no longer, that I don't have anymore. So they removed that. They stuck a catheter in my dick. I woke up, and she's like, "Relax, because we've drugged you up." So they sedated me heavily, and they're like, when you came in, you were kicking and screaming and fighting, and so they had to sedate you. And it's like, okay, so I did come in cognitive, and I was not consenting, and they proceeded. And so then what happened is I get up, and I'm like, release me right now. And they're like, fucking, they made me sign some shit, and I fucking could barely remember. So I think I put all rights reserved, or I put some sort of thing like no contract. Anyways, I get up and I walked out all by myself. They're like, "We'll get you a wheelchair." I'm like, "Fuck you. Don't even fucking touch me, you fucking scumbag." And I think that's when they stuck a chip in the top of my head. I'm pretty certain, like what they stick a tracking device, right? I think they stuck one in my head. And why do I say that? It's a long story, and I've said it a couple times, and I'm trying to keep this shit. And so so then what happens is I get a $35,000 bill from an attorney out of nowhere. I didn't see anything, and I contacted them, and I contact Herman Memorial, and I contacted them many, many times, and I was like, I want to know what happened. Who brought me in? How did I get there? I called Cynthia Woods. How did I get there? Nobody fucking knows, and everybody is keeping their mouth shut because why? Because the whole fucking county is fucking going after me. And because of the history that I've had in the county. Right? And so what I am thinking, and here's another thing. The guy that was with me, my mother said that because I didn't show back up, or I didn't call her, she thought that she looked to see on the county thing to see the fucking, if I was arrested, and she saw the guy that I was with because she dropped us two off. And so what I think happened is the last thing I really, remember is we were in the background and we walked up because you can hang out in the park, and we walked up to the front gate, and I had been drinking pretty good. We walked up to the front gate and was peeking in to see if we can see some of the concert through this, and then I looked over and I think it's the same fucking. I think it was Evans, Sergeant Evans, saw me, and then fucking I saw this guy fucking like grinning, like fucking like he knows something. It was weird, right? And anyways, then we walk away and we start walking around the Cynthia Pavilion. Then I don't remember anything. And then I meet him, and he has conflicting stories, and then he starts getting weird when I'm asking questions. So again, I think they let him go, and yeah, it's just so fucking weird. Just so fucking weird, man. It is all just lies and deception. And I've contacted them many times, and it's gotten to the point where when I did contact and I said, hey, I sent them a bunch of faxes saying that I wanted all the information from them, right? All of the records from them. I contacted the lawyer that sent me a $35,000, and that was a presentment of a scam presentment in which they're saying, we haven't verified this, but we think that, and here's a voucher, just we take visas and shit. Send in your $35,000. They wanted to bill me $35,000 for for laying in their fucking thing so they can shove a fucking catheter in my dick in an IC unit, and they fucking injected me. I had 3 fucking trails of like pin pricks where they injected me. So I know there was at least 3 that I can remember. And they want to charge me. And as soon as I woke up, I walked out of the fucking place. I was walking like a staggering drunk, but I did walk out of there, and I did not. So obviously, I did not need any ICU. And here's one other aspect: I definitely did not need a catheter in my fucking dick. So I think what they were doing is they were down there playing around, inspecting it, right? Seeing if I don't have some moles, or seeing just like how they fucking screwed Michael Jackson, and then they could do. They're fucking building shit. Oh man, they're so fucking dirty, man. All right, so we got that guy. I didn't know that. I didn't even want to bring that into the whole mix. We got Ken Paxton, who is the Attorney General. This guy has gone and fucking denied all kinds of my open records request. We got Alan B. Sadler's office again. I think this might be a different one though. Oh, Department of Risk Management. I remember calling the Department of Risk Management. Oh, this is Human Resources, yeah. So, this is the Human Resources trying to get information on specific individuals. Is why I would have contacted them. Civil Service, this is the one I've already. And then the other one is also just a courthouse. So they got multiple names for the same. Big fucking runaround with these fucking assholes. Okay, so. No word from him. Senator. Texas directory. That is what I was looking for. This is a state senator, Jose Menendez. And there's him. This is where I was getting a lot of the, so that's the same fax number right here. This is where I got a lot of the fax numbers that I was looking for. No word from Mr. Jose. Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. I was fucking contacted them to talk about all of, well, get information on the bonds, on my fucking, on driver's license, on anything. Yeah. Nah, Ted Cruz is the senator. Faxes went through. No information. Rand Henderson again, which would be the sheriff. That was the one number. At what time was that? At 11:05. Then this is the second number. So I did two back to back. No word. Keith Stewart's office, that was the judge. That the banking administrator, where Tina Long says that she remembers me there. No word on whether or not I even have a what's going on with the case. What is? They also stated inside of the records that I was supposed to be getting a new fucking lawyer. These people do not fucking work. The only time that they work is to pimp all of you fucking sheep. The state bars, State Bar of Texas. Mark Turnbull again, who's the county clerk. Judicial conduct. The state of Texas. So the first time that I contacted them was with Edie Connolly in 2016 when she kicked me out of fucking court for not wearing a shirt and then put a fucking warrant out for me. And I sent to them, and then the, who was that? I can't think. The guy that got the information, I had a couple email responses back and forth, and then all of a sudden he vanished. And then I called a couple of times later, and I was getting nothing but the runaround, and then nobody knew anything, and just people hanging up on me, and yeah. And now I have, and because of all that, I got a fucking new issue with the same goddamn fucking JP, Justice of the Peace, number 3, with the new guy. And then, with the first Edie Connolly, for fucking almost like, well, I don't know exactly, almost 3 years, they kept denying me of all of my, of all the records requests, so I could, in the Justice of the Peace, kept ignoring all of my fucking emails as I was trying to get all this shit situated and figured out. And then all of a sudden, Edie Connolly retires. And then, all of a sudden, I get the, I get the, yeah, she retires after fucking long-time judge. Oversaw thousands of cases. She fucked people for thousands of people. Before her retirement, more than 30 years she's been there fucking people. And that's her. Yeah, she didn't like the shirt that I was wearing, so she decided to kick me out. And then fucking lie and say I didn't show up, and then play fucking dodgeball for a fucking couple years while they kept fucking denying me. And when I finally did get the records, I got a bunch of fucking Yeah, a bunch of the open records were like one person said this and then another it was yeah, it was a bunch of conflicting shit. Yeah, she's a fucking black belt and bullshit. What a bunch of I fucking could go fuck yourself. A black belt. Look at this frail old bitch. I fucking snap her fucking neck like a twig. If shit got real. Anyways, okay, so we got that. Secretary of the State went through. Brett Lagan again went through. Department of Treasury went through. Office of Inspector General in state of Texas went through. Joseph Biden. The president. I did that on April the 15th, and I did it a 20 minute fucking span between sending them. I haven't heard nothing. And I put them on notice. Like when I did it, I sent pictures of my face, stating that people are, they tried to kill me. They won't allow me to press charges against this guy, which and they're also blackballing the shit out of me and stonewalling me, and now I'm fucked, right? Because the last thing I want to do is even get a job. So then I go and I get a job, and they know exactly where the fuck I am, and they pick me up, right? Like I'm heading to my job, and they just sitting right there, fucking waiting. Boom, pick me up, and now I lose my fucking job, right? Like, why would you even waste your time doing that? Rand Henderson again. Stephen. Public safety. Texas Department of Public Safety. Stephen McGraw. He's the director. This guy. I sent one to him. Retired from the FBI to become the Texas Homeland Security Director in the Office of the Governor, where he served until his appointment as DPS Director. Oh, great. I didn't even read that. And this guy's got a Bachelor's of Science and a Master's of Art degree, right? And, yeah, he can't even answer a fucking couple questions. Again, IRS, another IRS, Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton, American lawyer, Attorney General. Him. Fucking blows me off. Can't get any of these people to fucking do anything. Rand Henderson again. Alan Sadler. James Nowak. He's a commissioner. Commissioner of Precinct 3. Oh, it turns out I found some while I was digging, I found all of these, I think it was about 2008 or so. It was a PDF file that was filled with all of these people that were agreeing to some laws. And everybody except for this guy. And and so there's all these signatures, and then when it came to him, he was absent. And then I'm thinking, I wonder if the precinct 3 is the most infested, like they're creating the most corrupt because he because nobody ever signed this. So there's other, precinct 4, precinct 2, precinct 1. They are operating in a lot more capacity that they're following laws and stuff. And just a stroke of my luck, I got with fucking precinct. I found myself in precinct 3, where this is why I'm getting such fuckery going on. Another one to Rand Henderson, the sheriff. Another one to the district attorney. Another one to the attorney general. Another one to the banking administrator posing as a judge in precinct 3. Another one to the district attorney. Another one to the fucking banking administrator posing as a judge for county court number 5. And this is the guy that put the warrant out for me. He fucking lied. I cannot even get any one of these people to even say whether or not lying under perjury is legal. Even American Bars Association. Oop. Where the fuck did I go? These are 2 of them. Where did I go? James Nowak. Rand Henderson, 2 of them. Back to back. Red Lagan. I don't know, I fucked up and moved forward a little too much. Lagan again, Keith Stewart, Rand Henderson, the sheriff, almost there. James Nowak, the commissioner. Precinct 3, judge that lied. Another one to Biden, Adam Sadler. Another one to Kenneth Paxton, which is the fucking Attorney General. And this guy has denied me all kinds of open records requests. This fucking Kenneth Paxton. So for years, I've been getting shafted, waiting for him. And the way in which they do it also is very weird. So if I submit an open records request, they will go and say that they're sending it off, and he has X amount of time. I can't remember. I want to say 30 days, but there has been times where it was well beyond 30 days, so I can't remember. And then what will happen is he sends the denial in all of this fuckery verbiage in which now I'm like, okay, how does this affect me? Instead of saying, your request because of this. They got all of these, and he sends it in like multiple pages. So if there's 4 or 5 pages with all of this goobery gobbly bullshit, okay, then they're not page labeled with the date on each one. The first page is the cover page with the date. And then all the other ones, there's no page 1 of 5, page 2 of 5, So in other words, none of it means anything. I could go and they could be like, if I were to try to take it to court, there's no continuance of evidence because it's a bunch of fuckery going on. It's fucking sick. Then Ligon again, district attorney, and then Keith Stewart. April 25th is the last. So, anyways, I'm done.